Welcome, everybody, to Show Spectrum Full Cycle number 245.
Like Yoda, we will speak.
Yeah, it's Full Spectrum Cycling, folks. We're in the studio here at the PodcastMKE.org building. This is our building. We bought it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Today in the studio, we got Tony.
Yep.
Mr. Dave Schlabowske. Seeley Dave is visiting from 5 hours north of here. And
Seeley?
And JK.
Is he visiting from Seeley?
5 hours north of here.
Who's buried in Grant's tomb?
Prince Albert in a can.
Better let him out.
Oh, right.
Mixing dad jokes all over the place.
Right? Wow.
That's what you get when you have a room full of dads.
Right.
1, 2, 3.
Step.
Step. Damn.
Yeah.
I've kept mine all.
And the non-dad called us out. So.
Well, he got he got 3 of them.
Oh yeah, I jumped
full growed.
Yeah, I jumped over.
Yeah,
I jumped over
easy.
formative years.
I think that's cheating.
Yeah, totally is.
All right, so yeah, warm out there again this week.
Gorgeous.
Was
I think I saw 77
today?
Yeah.
Oh, what you were out on the West Side? Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think 70 something.
I saw 72 when I was sitting at my desk.
Yeah.
Boy, that's
I'm in short sleeves.
That's
and rode in
right.
it.
Yeah, me too. Got my drunk cyclist shirt on.
My kid was up at 6 a.m. wanting to go for a bike ride.
Well,
to school.
Yeah.
Good call.
Yeah. He was great. He said, "What a beautiful day it is as we're riding down the Oak Leaf."
He actually said that.
Yeah, exactly. Sometimes he's like,
"What a beautiful day it is."
He's prolific.
Like he's 33 years
right?
old.
You know? And I
what a
understood
lovely
him, which
tea
was
party.
the other interesting. I'm like, wow. But yeah, it was definitely a beautiful. We've had some great weather. Now it's going to get creptacular.
Tony was
normal.
Tony was relating before the show about how Daniel is being a little bit more civilized on the bicycle.
He's done learning.
Learned it.
Done learnt it. Yep, he's better. He loves it now.
So he just sits. There's a pad, and he puts his feet in a bag, and
He's got foot pegs.
he's got.
He's
pegs.
big enough to sit on the pegs on the cargo
right
bike,
on.
and then
Well, that's cool.
every time I look at him in the mirror, he's just like checking everything out. It's like it's a great thing for an autistic kid, man. It's like
Right on. Even though it was really nice out yesterday, Seeley Dave and I spent most of the day inside.
wow, that for good reason.
building up the Omnium Cargo.
Omnium, the dogpacking chariot.
Yeah, we were going to do a little chat about kind of what made you pick the bike and what you're going to be using it for.
Well, yeah. So one of my favorite kinds of riding is bike packing. Finding other people though who have days in a row to go off on a trip with me is not easy. So I've sort of like not. Is my sound not great? It doesn't
good.
sound that
It'll be
great.
fine.
Doesn't sound that great in my ears. But anyway,
It'll be good.
okay. But so I had started watching the Mira LaPera. Have you seen that guy when I started watching him when he did the Tour Divide route with his dog. He's the first guy to complete the Tour Divide with a dog on the back of his bike.
Nice.
He's got a very cool titanium custom Merriweather longtail with I think pinion drive. It's a pretty sweet bike. I'm not in that income bracket.
Yeah, that's a pricey bike. I was just looking at opinions.
you can either have time to goof off and do this, or you can have money to buy one of those.
I'd have to get another job just to buy
Right.
that bike.
Yeah,
So I was looking around, and the last time I was in town, I was in Ben Cycle, and they had an Omnium, the Minimax, on the floor, and I rode it, and I picked it up, and it's just a steel one. They make a tie one, but just a steel one. It was super light. It rides like a regular bike. I've ridden Bullets. They do have a little bit of learning curve. I used to have a Yuba Supermarché, if you remember their front loader. I don't know that they make that anymore, but so I was looking to get one of those Cowboy. Right now I have a Yuba Sweet Curry that I've added the Bafang to, and I have a big bread basket thing on the back that Cowboy can ride on, but he doesn't really like it, and he can't see back there, and I can't see him when he's back there.
Right.
So I kind of wanted to put him in the front again to bring him along, so I now have whether he wants to go on a bike packing trip or not, he doesn't really get to choose.
Yeah.
So
My friends all get to tell me no. Cowboy can't say no.
You didn't need to really sell this bike, but boy, you totally sold the bike.
yeah.
And so for those that don't know, what makes the Omnium unique among analog cargo bikes is that it has room for 2.4-inch mountain bike tires. A Bullet, you can just barely squeeze a 2-inch tire in the back of a Bullet, and most of the other ones don't. There are more e-assist cargo bikes now that have fat tires, but if I'm going for 3 days in the middle of nowhere, I don't want to have to be worried about charging up.
Right.
True. I mean, I can probably.
And if you can't charge up, riding a really heavy bike.
Heavy bike with a 45-pound dog.
Yeah,
plus
that sounds like a really bad day.
Right.
Yeah, Tony's riding a cargo bike basically with 20 by 4s.
20 by 3s, but I'm going to go with the specialized Carless Whispers, which are 3.5s. Oh. Gumwalls. They're really actually just for the name, and they're actually really affordable. They're less than $50 a piece.
So the Omnium, for those that are listening and won't see any, thing that Greg has in the show notes.
I'll throw a picture or two up of it.
Yeah, it has a 29er rear wheel and a 20-inch front wheel, and unlike a Bullet, the 20-inch front wheel is underneath the deck in the front. So the cargo deck is above the 20-inch front wheel, so it's low, but it's not as low as a Bullet. So again, you get more ground clearance for riding off-road, which is where I'm riding.
And your doggy's a lot closer to scratch.
Yeah, right. The one upgrade I've debated, I've seen one guy in England has done this, is put a 20-inch front suspension fork on those, and that, because of the rise of e-bikes with 20-inch wheels,
there's
lots of 20-inch suspension forks out there.
Yeah.
Show notes.
Yeah, I showed Dave that thing's been around since like 2011 or something.
Has it?
It's a Sun Tour swing.
How do you get that? Because
Swing
that
fork?
thing seems like a really good idea.
I don't even think Sun Tour US carries it. I think they come in from either on bikes that are disassembled or they're bringing them in, but on eBay. And it looked like a good idea. The reason I was looking at it, because Dave and I had talked about suspension forks yesterday on the front of the Omnium, is that the axle to crown on the Omnium is really short. It's like, 275?
I didn't understand what you were asking me to measure. I thought you were asking me how big a tire will fit underneath the fork crown. I didn't realize. So you'd have to add that much more to what I measured.
Yeah, so then it would be pretty similar to this fork, and that was kind of why I was interested, because a lot of the traditional telescopic forks have a much longer axle to crown, and that's going to change the geometry more than you may want.
Right.
And this goofy thing only has 30 millimeters of travel, but
it's $150. It might be worth trying one,
it's
but
magnesium.
I did read some reviews that said it has like a wobble vibration, like maybe the pivots are not designed for heavier weight or something. It's Ford DeHaan. I think they made them for DeHaans originally.
Okay. Well, I mean,
let me know. I'd check one out.
DeHaan's not a crap bike. So.
No, I have one.
And, what are people doing with it? Are they like trying to do full-on downhill with it and expecting it to perform, or is it just around
just
town
a nice, comfy
15
ride.
miles an hour? It's like, where is
and
it?
I'm using it. I'm not, using this bike for enduro. I'm taking the chatter off of, washboard on gravel and stuff like that.
So since it takes a 29er rear, could it take a obviously smaller diameter wheel with a bigger tire if you wanted to?
Probably. You could, but
there's not that much. It does have a rocker for the dropout, but right now with the 2.4 on there, it's all the way forward, and the tire is nicely in the area
2.4
where
is a nice fit in the back. The front, I have a 2.4 in it, but I had to. It's squeezed in there. I'm going to switch it to a 2.25 in the front. They advertise
20?
it. 20-inch. Yeah, they advertise it as fitting 2.15s with fenders. I'm not going to run fenders on this bike, so I can fit bigger
Especially
tires.
on the front.
Yeah, especially on the front. But I won't run.
It won't be a
fenders.
civilized bike then.
160s millimeters.
I used 160s. I could have added like I thought about post
185s or something.
Yeah, and extending with an extender on it. But I'm using Dominion A4, so 4-piston hydraulic brakes. They're
Those will
from
stop.
Hayes. Yeah,
They'll stop.
it's great.
I'm interested to get a hands-on report for Dominions.
I already like the leather. You rode it just around here.
Yeah,
They had a pretty darn nice leather feel.
Yeah.
Way better than like my BB7s on my Sweet Curry, which are like they work. They stop the bike, but there's no love happening there on the handlebars.
Right, yeah.
The Dominions
not
are
like
pretty
No, I'd have to
sweet.
more compare those to TRP, spires or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think kind of the gold standard for affordable hydraulics for me is like just a Shimano XT. They
You
feel
do
so
love those.
great, and or an Alfine. Very nice. 2 fingers. 1 finger.
Speaking of that, thanks for clarifying that the Bike Bazaar is this Saturday, because I got a whole weekend free.
Yeah, Tony texted
I was
me.
going to bring that up.
Yeah.
on
I got up at
Saturday.
6 a.m. I showered.
I said it when you first text me, like, I got the Bike Bazaar this. I'm like, isn't that next weekend?
Yeah, it was-
I gotta.
so I goofed it up.
I was going to bring it up, but then I was like, no, just if it comes,
I got a whole.
if it comes
I got
up,
a whole freaking weekend free.
I will
because of that.
address.
I was going to go see Dave on Sunday, and I'm like, all right, Molly, I'm busy for the whole weekend, and all of a sudden I'm like, hey, I got the whole weekend free.
Yeah, and Justin Timberline's 32nd birthday
It's
is
Sunday.
Is also the same.
Oh,
It's
and-
always St. Patrick's Day.
Right.
So
Friday, Club G, future plans.
Yes. Also,
Co-worker Eric.
digressing
maybe
or
hitting
bouncing around here, I also found
We're not
out,
derailed. We're just
switching
tracks.
Yeah. I found out
Oh,
that Fixture Pizza on Sundays are $1 wings. And wait, you guys aren't wing guys.
the Milwaukee Minute.
Yeah, we've
We're
hit
really
the.
bouncing around now, aren't we?
They have a great beer selection.
There's a bit
They
of
have
a
the best-
rattle.
Yeah, they have the best Caesar salad in town.
Just hold it. Just hold the line.
They have the best Caesar in town, and that's what I went there for. And then they're like $1 wings. I'm like, okay.
It is a good Caesar.
It is it's
a very good
It's a
Caesar.
very good Caesar
Even-
salad.
I worked on one of them, and it's worth it. Yeah.
Right?
But I can only imagine wing night is akin to like Points East or
I got there at
other
1:30 in the afternoon, sir.
okay.
There was no night.
Oh,
All that were displaying on the TV was the eagle that was sitting on the eggs.
Is that the Decorah Eagle?
Decorah?
I don't know if that was the Decorah one or not. But anyway, it was hilarious because Strongman Sam showed up, and then later that night sent me a text message of his TV with the same eagle on it at home.
I got to look that up. The Decorah Eagle was super famous for a while.
So-
I don't know if it's the
and
same.
by the by, Sabbatic is closed for the next couple of weeks
Well, fixture.
by fixture.
Sabbatic doesn't have food anyway. So.
Right?
No, you
But-
bring it in there.
Yeah, you can bring it in. But anyway, that's the Milwaukee
Of
Minute.
all of their themed pies, Sabbatic doesn't have one.
Going back
Surprised.
to bikes.
But I ride my bike down there.
Going back to bikes, I got the funniest text message. Wait, while I was at Fixture, asking me, I'm going to not disclose the person who sent this text message yet, asking me, what happens if you squeeze a hydraulic disc lever too far and you don't have a wheel?
Or a spacer.
Or a spacer in there.
Do I have to bleed the brake to be able to fit the wheel back in?
I don't know. It depends on if the piston came out of the caliper or not.
And I responded, I'm like, generally, you're probably going to have to open the caliper and see what happens. And
Well, if you've got
then he said, I used a Japanese crowbar. I'm not certain what that means. I hope you guys are starting to figure out YouTube.
No.
who
You
this
get
is.
around. You get around the back like this.
that's probably
Oh wait, no, that's an arm bar.
It's a wrestling.
And-
That's a Japanese arm bar.
Have you figured out who might make these expressions?
What?
Who might have no idea about how to adjust a disc brake and also would say something like Japanese crowbar?
I don't know.
Dave Lunds.
DiNardo.
DiNardo Colucci. Bing, 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 bing. And I'm like, so then after I told him, I'm like, well, yeah, it's pretty much what you got to do. And he responds back with, I finally said, but wait, you don't own any bikes with disc brakes. You're a fucking elitist.
Luddite.
And yeah, that too. He's got anyway. So he sends this picture of a pinion drive bike that he said was given to him.
Yes, I just saw it yesterday on my way home. A priority.
Somebody got a free priority?
Yeah.
That's the only way this person would ride a bike like this.
Well, it has fenders and a kickstand, so it is a civilized bicycle. And that's always the mantra. And I told him, I was like, at least it's civilized.
Is there a priority dealer around here?
I don't think they have dealers.
No,
really.
I think it was friend of a friend that just had it, and it's like, dude, I'm not going to
priority.
going to Europe and don't need.
But he is Mr. Stick Shift, Mr. Three-speed internally geared bike, and suddenly he's gone full on automatic on us. Yeah, I'm gonna give him
full auto, baby.
I'm gonna give him unrelenting shit, DiNardo. If you're listening, which I know you're not.
We were discussing him over the weekend.
A Japanese what?
With a
crowbar.
Maybe it's made out of bamboo or some such.
I bet you he could pry it.
There's Park makes a tool. There's plenty of tools to spread the pads back out, but
what was his midlife?
They come out too far.
His midlife crisis bike was walnut.
It's a combination of walnut and maple.
Oh, he's got one of those.
Wooden
they're kind of like the blend. The two woods are mated together.
I'm not. It's actually because it was the first one this guy built with rim brakes. Again, DiNardo, 11-speed Elfine belt drive. It's actually named after him. Apparently, it had to be
after the dude,
after DiNardo.
It has to
be. But he is very anti-disc brake. That's why I know he got this bike for free. Everyone can be wrong sometimes. He also. I saw him yesterday on the bike trail when I was coming back to service something at UWM. Once again, it was maybe 50-ish. I see a guy coming at me, bald, no helmet, and a sweater. I'm like, who else would be coming at me? Hey, DiNardo. He had no idea it was me until about 10 seconds past him.
Along Edgewood?
Oakleaf Trail.
Oh.
We were on the Oakleaf. I was going back to campus, and he was heading to Illuminati.
Oh, okay. I saw him at the end of the day on the pass.
Anyway, that's your Milwaukee 10 minutes.
Small.
DiNardo's taking the show over.
DiNardo.
He hasn't been on for a while, so.
He's been on what, once?
Maybe one time, I think. A long time ago.
He didn't even bring beer.
I'm all tired out from talking DiNardo, so. Let's stop at the top of the hill here and
get out of my family tree.
Talk about beer a little bit. Oh yeah,
jump out of my family tree.
They're related. Dave brought the beer today.
Thanks, Dave.
From the Gathering Place,
and from Venture.
And from Venture.
With two ends.
Twofer.
Venture with two ends. A brew Berliner style with blueberry and vanilla. It is a tasty Berliner Weiss, and it's only like 4.7 or 5%. I don't remember, but it's a tasty drinking fluffer beer that you can't actually slam because it's a little tart.
Yeah, exactly. The heartburn. Well, the anticipation of heartburn, if you just slammed it.
Because I get more heartburn from like an IPA if I drink an IPA fast than I do a sour beer. But
this is
tasty.
This Gathering,
it is, as you were saying, it's kind of a muted.
It's like a tart blueberry muffin, eating a tart blueberry muffin.
It's a muted sour.
What are they calling it? Mosaic
Parade IPA.
Oh, see, mine's smudged out. Okay,
it's
6.5.
Yeah, it's
I'm gonna try one of them.
I assume
damn fine.
I assume because they use Mosaic hops in it.
That would be why they would call that.
I haven't had a Gathering Place beer for a while.
It's been a minute or two because they always close it before we can get over there.
Well, I was eating at Wonderland with my daughter.
Let me have another one, Miguel, while you're in there.
And so I just went there before this.
Same, or yeah,
because I wasn't sure if anybody else would want to venture. Bruv.
What's up, bruv? All right, so I want to just because Dave's a consummate. I don't know if that's the right word. He's an accomplished, that would be a better word, photographer and content guy. I was thinking about the Omnium. We're back to the Omnium again.
Okay.
See how I got back there. That I think it would make a really cool camera platform, because if you're like getting the view of the rider, the thing is long enough, especially with that extension on it, that if you had one of these guys mounted on there and the camera looking back at you.
But I have a drone.
Oh, you have a drone. That's
and right. I have an Insta360 camera. So I can just extend that on an invisible selfie stick in front of me, and it looks like I've got a camera 2-3 feet in front of me. But I did think that would be a nice way to get video of like, you know, the bike, because I can stick it off to the side. I can kind of like leverage it right in the middle between the front where Cowboy sits and me, and kind of angle the selfie stick up sideways. And then when it's got 360. So when I edit it, I just decide which direction I want it to be.
That's a weird technology.
It's two
360s,
it's two 180 degree fisheye lenses that the software stitches the two together automatically. And you can sometimes see a little bit of where the stitching is, but for goofy YouTube videos like I make, it's with all of my, 160 subscribers, fervent subscribers.
Well, we're going to work on that.
Massive influencer that I am.
Right? Yeah, well, I didn't cheat my way into the 1,800 that are on Full Spectrum now, because I started that channel in 2014. I don't know if you watched the explainer video.
It was the sleeper base.
I felt like
it's a sleeper base.
People haven't had anything from that channel since 2017, and suddenly, if they're subscribed to it, there's stuff showing up again. They're like, what the hell is this? I don't remember subscribing for this show. So I had to explain what's happening with it and why I changed the name. And
I mean, I don't care about followers and subscribe. It's a creative outlet for me to do these sorts of things. If I encourage anybody else to come up and explore our area or try bike packing or something like that, that's all it's really about, plus giving me an outlet to do something creative. So that's all I use it for. That said, if I only ever had like 10 views on every video, I might quit. But if there's 150 to 300 or so, then I'm like, there's enough people watching this.
That's kind of like the podcast show. I don't know, some of the same people keep listening for some reason. So,
and I do, cool. I do, and you probably
get heckled.
You probably do hear this too. Like you hear. Like occasionally, just hear from somebody like, "I really love your podcast," and you're like, "Well,
it was
all right."
It was a while ago, and you may not, but we were literally. I was riding my bike home from work, and another guy comes up next to me, and I'm like, "Hey, how's it going?" He's like, "You're full. You're at that point." He's like, "You're Everyday Cycles." And I'm like, what? And I'm like, he's like, I recognize your voice. And I'm like, okay, this is weird. I'm like, yeah, I'm Tony. And he's like, it was, I can't remember who it was now, but it was hilarious that he's like, I listen to your show all the time. I'm like, okay, it makes me feel really cool.
Well,
so we're riding up Booth Street. He had just slashed his finger on his disc. That was like, he had it bandaged up. I'm like, dude, you need to go have it looked at. And he's like, I recognize your voice. I'm like, okay, that's
okay. We'll skip why he was reaching down to touch his disc brake.
Right? Yeah, it was he did admit it was a boner maneuver.
Maybe it was an impromptu cyclocross.
There's a leaf stuck in my disc brake.
Yeah. There goes a finger.
We'll skip that. But I have similar things happen occasionally. I'll be riding like the trails or a gravel road up. I mean, like, hey, you're Seeley Dave, and I'll be like, yeah. Do I know you? And like, no, we recognize Cowboy. I'm like, oh, all right. Clickbait.
Cowboys, Well, that's why I think when you get a little bit more, footage or whatever of doing the dog packing with Cowboy, I think especially with the Omnium, it's going to be.
Well, there's just not a lot of content out there, So like if you're looking for it, No, I am going to do a bunch of that, and I mentioned that to tell Brandon that. And the guy that does that Mira LaPera YouTube channel that now is doing a 7-continent tour with his dog. Actually, I think his dog is only 6 because I don't think you can take a dog to Antarctica. But unless you're Will Steger. But he's starting a website called Dogpacking.com. He got the URL.
Oh, nice.
He's doing it with a vet from Canada, so there's going to be both like health content about what to do about running your dog, and then also bike dog content.
That sounds like a great cast.
Just throw me your backpack.
Well, it is kind of weird. Like, so if Cowboy like completely hates this, and I don't think he will, but if he completely like starts not wanting to come with me, there's sled dog kennels all over northern Wisconsin and the UP, and I'm gonna investigate. But to buy a sled dog, first of all, it's not easy. You've got to like know people, and you've got to hang out with those people, and then I'd probably have paid the same amount of money for a sled dog from a championship kennel as I would for the entire Omnium.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
You have to get branded.
Right, so I think we're gonna push Cowboy and see how he does it for a while. I know he likes coming. He likes running with the bike, and he likes hanging out in camp. He just, when he sees a bike, he's like, I don't want to get on that thing.
Yeah, I saw the video of you like trying to get.
When he's behind me.
Come on now, come on, pose for the camera. Let's do this.
He doesn't ride on your shoulders.
No, he's not. And the people that do, you see on like bikepacking.com with their dogs, like that guy with his dog Mira, most of them have started their dogs. Their dogs just, I ride around on a bike all around the world. I don't live anywhere.
Right.
And I ended up with a dog as a puppy. So this is the only life the dog really knows.
Right.
Whereas Cowboy, it's a little new to him. I've always had cargo bikes since I've had he's always been toted around once in a while on a cargo bike, but it usually was like my Supermarché in a big Rubbermaid tub,
right,
where his head was just sort of sticking out a little bit. So this is a little different.
Did you know that the site is live? Have you checked it out since it?
I haven't. No, is it live now?
It is live, and there's some. They seeded it with some content. Not all of it is dog packing oriented. There's
right, because one of the guys is a vet.
Right,
one of the guys is a vet.
Seems like there's some product reviews of stuff for dogs that aren't necessarily dog packing, or not to say you couldn't take it with you if you're
right.
If you've got a cargo bike, you can take all sorts of stuff with you. But yeah, it just went live. I got a notice in the email a day or two ago.
Oh, I'll check that out.
What about dag packing?
Dags.
Dag.
Another. I don't know if you knew.
Just in case, you never know.
I don't know if you knew Pentabike was down for a while. If you're a Pentabike fan.
I don't know Pentabike.
Oh, it's just kind of it's a fun logo basically that a guy in Denver came up with. That's a pentagram with a bike with that. It's part of the design. But anyway, that's back.
Who took it down? Satan.
Your site,
wait, no, it's not a pentagram.
Secure,
it's a what?
Pentabike.
No, I know, but no.
What?
Instead of pentagram, there's another name as well.
To make it non-satanic.
Yeah,
one?
to make it less satanic.
Oh, like a star?
Well, no, but Penta something. I'll know this later. Speaking of like thinking of something now and thinking about it later.
Thinking now?
Coast in bikes.
Yeah,
I knew it.
There we go.
I was going to tell you last week. Yep. I'm sorry.
It was driving me out of my fucking mind.
I was
sitting there. I went down a rabbit hole.
Carolyn just liked that thing I posted of my Omnium, and I was like,
I went down the Carolyn rabbit hole. I just like went photos and just went all the way to the bottom. I'm like, there has to be a logo.
What was her partner's name?
Tristan Klein.
Although she's married now to
somebody else. Married.
Well,
I don't believe they're married.
They
just have a child together. I mean, I had a child together.
Well, Tristan, they were also business partners.
Right. Tristan's out in Denver working for Namaste Solar.
Namaste.
He booked from Milwaukee just, I don't know, it was right before the Sun Badger Solar got into the FBI investigation.
Did not know about that.
Oh, yeah, it's pretty...
Lots of scammery in the solar industry.
Yeah, it is right now, especially. You better believe it.
You better watch it. Those are the same people that framed Pete Rose and faked the Apollo moon landing.
All right.
Okay.
I know it's not.
I know where the hell that came from, but okay.
I know it's not fake. There's a Hope, the accessory and component maker in England, Barnes Stable or some such, wherever they're located in England. There's an awesome factory tour video of it. It's like,
is it going to be in the show notes?
It is in the show notes, and it's definitely worth watching because I didn't realize they'd been around.
I saw that on bikepacking.com too, I think. I didn't look at it yet.
I'm not saying I don't get some hints from bikepacking.com because I do. And I am a paying member as well, so I feel like I can.
A member of the
collective member, although I have never won anything, and I feel that's a scam.
I kind of do.
It's a scam.
But you know what?
I want to win something.
You know what else might be a scam, though? They may have 190,000 collective members who all pay $65 a year.
Well, and isn't that what any content creator wants is something, some way to make a living and still do the stuff you want.
Good on those guys.
Right? Well, they do a great job. It's definitely
good
worth.
on those guys.
Definitely worth doing.
So along the lines of strange prize winnings. So remember, hey, I get to work with Marcus for a day.
Yes.
Oh yeah, you were supposed to be the DJ for
Radio
the day.
Marcus ain't gonna be on the air no more.
Marcus Doucette.
Is he
not your Marcus.
No, right. Marcus
Is he
Doucette.
staying in Costa Rica?
No, he's just full on production man.
Okay.
He's still there.
But he's not doing shifts anymore.
Oh.
They just got
So
married
I won
in
doing a
Costa
damn
Ricas.
shift with the brother, and he's like.
Well,
And the people I was
fess up
talking
it.
to, I had mentioned this Friday would have been perfect for me to do this. And they never got back to me until today because they made the announcement today about everything. And I was like,
maybe that's why he scuttled off to Costa Rica to get married.
Scam.
He was one of my favorite DJs.
yeah, he's a great
guy.
guy. Yeah.
And a really nice guy. And a really nice guy.
Claim to fame?
So
he rode my fat bike, Fat Burger, for the first fat bike he ever rode.
And then he bought
one.
Because he's got one of the original Pugsleys.
Yeah,
right?
he's got
a white one,
Yep.
right?
Yeah. White? Purple?
No.
Purple?
Is it purple?
No, he's got a black.
Oh, a black one. But he's got one of the old ones.
Yeah.
One of the old Pugsleys.
Necromancer. But so you're going to get scammed out of your prize?
Well, we're gonna see what happens.
Maybe you got to do it.
Well, no, I mean, the volley email back was interesting. We can if you just tell us your site. I don't know. They were trying to buy me off of T-shirts. At first, I'm like, let's see.
Yeah, that's like.
Let me take a look at the concert.
A Gruber T-shirt.
Well, no,
you don't really need that many of them.
Well, I'm gonna look at the concert schedule coming up here.
MSC.
And be like, ding, 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 ding.
Yeah.
You know, I could use tickets to this. Some of these are not going to hurt your wallet.
Not at all.
Adamant with the English Beat in a couple weeks on a Monday ain't going to bust your balls. If anything else, I'm going to, I'll make it.
Yeah.
Little things like that.
Make sure
it'll be interesting.
Make it worth your while.
Did you win KMFDM tickets?
No. I'm still within the 30-day window because I won the Flat Out Friday tickets.
So
and I'm a good boy, and I'm not going to even...
don't cheat the system, even though they scam you.
And I saw him last year.
All right, we're getting towards the end here, folks.
And guess what? I know half the lyrics. We are KMFDM.
Yeah, they say that in their. I was there at the last show.
Every tune.
They say it pretty much in every tune.
Yeah,
it's kind of awesome. It's kind of like Kid Rock.
Yeah.
Doing it again.
Yeah. Anything else, Dave? You got anything going on we should know about up north that way?
No. Conditions should be pretty much ideal for gravel riding. The trails are closed because of the freeze thaw cycle, but the gravel was a little soft the last weekend of like Fat Bike Berkey and stuff like that, and just from melting. But it should be pretty ideal. So,
well, if you want to hear about the Fat Bike Berkey, I know Spinner and Chewy are doing a show this week sometime.
I will listen to that. I don't know why they didn't reach out to me while they were up there.
Spinner was up there. I don't think
our
Chewy was.
Our place was empty because our racers canceled.
Spinner knew that too. He put the word out to people, but I think he already had a place.
Oh, he already had a place
that he was at. Okay. So and he's been there before. So
right. The other option I thought of was, are you sure you didn't? You just were so drunk you don't remember. Spinner.
Yeah. No, you had that beautiful pizza with the weird mushrooms.
Yeah, I'll listen to that show on Spinner.
All right, everybody. We'll do this thing because Dave says we can do this.
Yeah.
There we go. It's the end of the show. That means we're going to play the tune and we're going to get the hell out of here. Come back next week.
Not front 242ing, eh?